Hello and welcome to Rule of Three's video review for Outlast, the first-person survival horror game from Red Barrels for the PC and now PS4. So I've been wanting to do Outlast for a long time. I got it originally back when it came out on the PC back in, I think it was September of last year. But I finally got around to it now that it's out on the PlayStation 4. Thank you, PlayStation Plus. Just saying. And I've been wanting to do this for a while because it's a survival horror game which I really love. I'm a chicken, but I love playing them because I do like being scared with them. Which is funny because I hate horror movies, but I do enjoy survival horror. End up being sidetracked though. Yeah, it finally gives me the true survival horror game that I've been wanting to play for a while, versus some of the disappointing survival horror games that have come out in the recent years.
I see. Merciful God, you have sent me an apostle. Guard your life, son. You have a calling.
So the story of Outlast, you play as Mal Upshur, a freelance journalist who gets a tip-off from an anonymous source who you never find out about a, something going on at a place called Mount Massive Asylum. And being the journalist you are, you decide to go and investigate. You get there, everything's locked down, it looks completely abandoned, like nobody's been there for years. So you sneak in, and you find out that is not the case. There is something much more going on here. You find dead SWAT people, dead doctors. You find one guy who's barely alive and tells you to get the F out. Otherwise, you're going to die. So you heed his words and you go, okay, I probably should go now. But then you're attacked, fall off a stuff, get knocked unconscious, and a inmate who is dressed like a priest comes up and tells you that you're going to be a witness to all the things that are going on here. So get ready for some fun times. On the whole, the story's okay. It keeps the story moving, but the thing about the story that's really good is the asylum itself, the environment, and all the little details are very, very good. It's a very creepy setting without being, unrealistic. So everything you see is, you kind of expect to be an asylum, especially if you have a fear of asylums, like abandoned asylums. This does a really good job of capturing that fear, like I have it. So I was just scared about that on its own. Just the scares are, the scares are real. They're not really cheap. Some are, but most aren't. And it builds up over time. And gets worse and worse as you go deeper and deeper in and find out more and more about this asylum and what the heck experiments they're doing to these people and why everybody in there is trying to kill you and why they're all crazy. So story's okay, but the environment I think is what really makes the story more so than anything. Although, to be honest, the creatures that you encounter, the inmates, they're not that scary. They're all pretty generic. I mean, some of them are missing part of their head so you can see their brain, but other than that, they're, not the scariest group of looking people, but what they do to you is pretty bad.
They killed us. You got out. The variants. You can't fight them. You have to hide.
So the gameplay is very simple. If you played Amnesia, it's very similar, but not quite as varied. I'll get into that in a second. So you have a camera, since you're a journalist, and you can record. It has a night vision mode, which is very useful for dark rooms, but it has battery life, so you gotta conserve your nighttime vision on the camera so you don't run out of battery. That way you're not running around in the dark and don't know what's in the room in front of you, because that could be very, very bad, and it usually is very, very bad. Other than that, you're going to be running and hiding a lot. Running over things, jumping in the vents, dashing into, air shafts. Whatever you can do to get away, and then you're going to hide under beds, hide in vents, hide in whatever you can find that you can hide in to stay away, hide from the inmates, because you can't fight back. You don't have any weapons. Just your ability to run. And that's all there is for gameplay. It's very repetitive, which is the only thing I have against the game is there's not a whole lot of variety. It is literally just running and hiding from people, which is kind of a shame because it would have been cool to, have some maybe psychological aspect added to it, kind of like Amnesia, but not. Just because, you're not, you didn't know what you were getting, and you just got a tip that something weird was going on in this place, and now you're stuck here and things want to kill you. The night vision is cool, but once again, you got to be very, careful with it, because if it runs out, you're doomed. So with that, it gives it a little bit more of that survival horror feel, as well as just, like I said in the story portion. The game itself, the story and plot and environment is set up for a very scary atmosphere. and the gameplay echoes that, is able to not only echo but increase that, fear factor that survivor games should have. Although I wish it did have a little more mechanics other than that. So Outlast is a survival horror game that I've been wanting to play for a long time. Amnesia, the second Amnesia, are really the only modern survival horror games that I've played lately that I really enjoyed. I mean, all the other games that have come out and said they're survival horror have been more action horror, which is kind of disappointing. So it's good to see that, I'm hoping games like Outlast, Amnesia, and the other handful out there that are actually survival horror are able to re-jump kind of what survival horror is. Like, I'm really looking forward to The Evil Within. I'm hoping that will kind of bring back the AAA a survival horror game. But I'm not going to talk about that. Outlast is a great game. I give it a buy. If you have PlayStation or a PS4 or even a PS3, I think you can... No, you have to have a PS4 now. I would, get it free. It's on PS Plus, I think, for a couple more days. If you have a PC, it's only, I think, $20. It's definitely worth the money if you're into survival horror, or even, if you just want a, good scare on Halloween this year. It's definitely going to fill that gap that you may have been wanting to, fill for a little bit of horror in your life. So that's it. The next review coming up, since there's going to be a couple this week, since I'm trying to catch up, since this got out a little late due to me trying to figure out how to get PS4 footage off my PS4 onto my PC, which I finally found a way to do. And next will be Donkey Kong Tropical Freeze. After that will be Castlevania Lords of Shadow 2. And after that will be Thief. Those are the games that will all be coming out, hopefully by Sunday, depending on how much time I have to edit all these. So make sure to leave comments below if you've played it. Let me know your opinion, or if you think I'm wrong or right, or what you think of the game. Subscribe, all that good stuff. Check out ruleof3.com. I try to post as often as I can, at least once or twice a week now is my goal, instead of the once every now and then 2-3 weeks. I'm trying to get a little bit more regular on that, and yeah, so check that out. Thanks for listening, everybody, and always remember to trust in the rule of 3.